The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The return of Jamal. He wants to come back. Should the Jets actually consider this? We'll talk about that and much more. Let's go, Knicks. The Jake Asman Show starts right now. Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go, here on a Friday. Smash the like button. Make sure if you haven't already, you subscribe to the channel. And a reminder to check out the show in podcast form. The Jake Asman Show is now available on both Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So just search Jake Asman Show and you will see our show in audio form. I post it once we get done with the live YouTube show that you are watching right now. Jamal Adams, he wants to come back to the New York Jets. So Jamal Adams did an interview on the Jet Lounge, and a shout out to the Jet Lounge for landing Jamal Adams. I know those guys well. Special shout out to Sack Exchange. He's always doing a good job promoting the Jets community. So they had Jamal on the show. And I'll give credit to Jamal Adams. He was on with them for like 2 hours. Right? That's pretty much unheard of for any modern athlete to hang out with fans for that long. So I'll give Adams credit for that. But during the course of this conversation, Jamal Adams made it clear that he would love to come back to the Jets. Saying, quote, "I would love to be back with the Jets and obviously finish it the right way. Man, that would be a dream come true, just to patch up that relationship and kind of make it right." He said he could be a valuable veteran to the team. He said he'd come in as, quote, "a seasoned vet, give game to the young cats and help in any way, shape, or form I can. I know I could still play football. I'm healthy. I know I could impact the game in a lot of ways. I just need that fair opportunity to come in and show what I could do." Here's the thing. Jamal Adams, at this stage of his career, I don't know if he could play anymore. Just to be blunt. He wants to return to the Jets. You know, I want the Knicks to win tonight, if we're just throwing things out that we want. Right? I want the Yankees to sweep the Subway Series. I don't think Jamal Adams can still play. Now, last year, he gets cut by the Tennessee Titans. And actually, Aaron Glenn and the Lions, when their defense was decimated, signed Jamal Adams. But guess what happened? The Lions ultimately released Jamal before the year ended. He was on the team for a month last year. He started 2 games and then was released once again before the end of the regular season. And during this conversation, Adams said that he really liked playing for Aaron Glenn. He knows Aaron Glenn from when the Saints were the coaches of the Senior Bowl the year Adams was coming out of LSU. But ultimately, Aaron Glenn had him, and they released him. Now, Jamal is saying now that he's healthy. But here's the thing. He's never healthy. The last time Jamal Adams played more than 12 games in a season was 2019 with the Jets. In 2020, he played 12 games. 2021, he played 12 games. 2022, he played in 1. 2023, he played in 9. Last year, he played in 5. He can't stay on the field. And he's going to be, what, 30 years old this season, which we know is a number for the Jets they don't want to deal with, unless your name is Josh Reynolds. Jamal Adams turns 30 in October. I don't think there's any scenario the Jets bring him back. Because once again, Aaron Glenn had no healthy bodies on defense last year. They brought him in, and he wasn't good enough for the Lions last year. Now, maybe we'd have to look more into that situation. It had something to do with roster construction. Maybe some of their healthy or their injured players got healthy, and that's why they ultimately released Adams. But I'm sorry, he's not good. He hasn't been good. All right, I would joke for years that this guy is more of a liability in pass coverage than Ryan Gosling was in the movie Remember the Titans. All right, he's a box safety that can't cover. If we're bringing him in to play defensive end, maybe I'll take him over Michael Clemens. But I'm sorry. I appreciate Jamal Adams trying to do right by Jet fans and saying he regrets how it all went down. He said in this interview that his biggest regret is that he never spoke to Joe Douglas when all this was happening. He said, we never spoke in one person one time before the trade happened. That's where I wish I could have that back. I can't speak for him, but I didn't go about it the right way. He said he reached out to Douglas a year ago to apologize. Like, I could respect that, but the Jets, one, don't need Jamal Adams, and two, he's not that good. The only scenario I would take Jamal Adams is if he's playing for the veterans minimum, and I'm just putting my faith in Aaron Glenn, who was with him in Detroit, that maybe Adams has matured, because I don't know if he's the best locker room guy. I can tell you for a fact, even though we all love the idea of Jamal at the end of, I think, the 2018 season, saying we need more dogs in the locker room and trying to fire up the fan base, I know there's a lot of people in the locker room who looked at that being like, dude, like, we're your teammates. You're campaigning for more, better players around you. Like, I just know Jamal rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And look, we all do silly things when we're young, and this guy obviously is 22 years old, entering the NFL, has a ton of money, fame, fortune, all that. I'm sure that he's matured since then, but I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it makes any sense for the Jets to go down this path. He wasn't good last year. He hasn't been healthy in years. I appreciate Jamal Adams still saying nice things about Jet fans and realizing what he had, but I'm good, man. I think he's saying this about the Jets because he realizes there's no other spot for him in the league. Who's signing this guy? Where's he going? Once again, Aaron Glenn had him last year. If they thought he could help him, I don't think Aaron Glenn and the Detroit Lions are waiving him at the end of the regular season last year. I'm going to have to look more into it, but I don't see this happening. I don't think the Jets want to deal with Jamal Adams. It's a lot of attention for a guy who's not good anymore. He's going to be 30 years old, so that's a non-starter seemingly, unless you're Josh Reynolds. Jets are trying to move in silence, so let's bring in a guy who's known to talk and have a huge mouth. And look, maybe he's changed because he has no choice. He has to change or he's going to be out of the league. No one's going to sign him. He's going to have to basically sign somewhere with a non-guaranteed roster spot and try and fight to make a team this summer if he gets a job. I just don't think it should be with the Jets. So I'm good on Jamal Adams. All right? We don't need you. We got Tony Adams. We don't have room in the safety room for another Adams. I'll take K Adams before we put Jamal Adams back out there. So, look, maybe he's matured. I don't know. I'll say this. I'll say something nice about Jamal. I had him on my radio show when I was in Houston. I wasn't doing local radio yet. I was doing national radio for SB Nation Radio. We did our show from the Super Bowl. And he was promoting a Pepsi product, so we got him on my show for a segment. And he was great. I was one of the few Jet fans that he got to speak to that whole week, and couldn't have been nicer. He actually recorded the video saying hi to my dad, but I texted my dad after. Jamal couldn't have been nicer. And until he ran his mouth and wanted to be traded and all the drama that went down, ripped the organization, went to Manish Mehta and slammed Adam Gase to create the firestorm to try and get him traded. I love Jamal. But the problem was everything he said was just a lie. He was a phony. I'm not running from adversity. I'm here to help change the culture. He just blatantly lied. The first sign of adversity, he wanted out. And now, look, he's acknowledged that he didn't handle it the right way, but it's a long time ago. And at this point, it's about, can you help the Jets win? And I think soon-to-be 30-year-old Jamal Adams, who has failed to play more than 12 games in a single season since 2021, he's not going to help the Jets win. So I wish him well, but no thank you. Now, the other thing I got to get to, because this was ridiculous. So the Jets finally got rid of Greg Zuerlein. We'll see you later. Why the hell did the New York Jets need to post a thank you graphic for Zuerlein. For all you've given to the Jets, thank you, Greg. Look, Greg Zuerlein, the first 2 years he was here was awesome. But just cut him, and that's it. Like, once again, and I said this to Gary Vee when he came on our show at the Super Bowl this year. If I ever am in position to get the ideal job with the Jets, many of you think I'm going to say GM, coach. No. The ideal job I want is director of common sense. Because this would not ever happen if I was in the building as the director of common sense. We're not thanking Greg Zuerlein, who cost us a season in large part last year. Just cut him and move on. What a goddamn joke this was when I go on Twitter and see this. Just announce you cut him like every other team does, and we don't need to do the thank you post for him. All right? There's probably fans out there who still have pneumonia from that Broncos game. At least you could have made that kick, Greg. We could have won. I just, enough. I'm sure he's a nice guy. He sucked this year. He was actually the worst kicker in the league until they phantom IR'd him. Stop. This bothers me. This is just as bad as Hassan Reddick coming out to practice after the Jets are 2-5. He's coming off holding out. Can't wait to be here. Here we go. No one wants to see Hassan Reddick's face. No one wants to see a Greg Zuerlein graphic. Thanks for all the missed kicks, Greg. I mean, what's next? A Michael Clemens thank you post when we hopefully cut his ass? I mean, this is a franchise that last year did not wish Robert Saleh, who was the head coach at the time, a happy birthday, but we're going to give Greg Zuerlein a thank you post. Oh, my God. Common sense. Director of common sense. That's the only job I want with the Jets. Because, like, this stuff would not happen. It's just, let's take Fireman Ed off the Jumbotron and create a story. Let's have kickoffs be absolutely dead in our awful stadium by taking the one guy that could get the crowd united. Let's not show him because he's critical of the Jets on my show. Like every other fan, we're all critical of the Jets. They haven't won more than 7 games in a decade. It's like things like this. It bothers me, man. And that's why you can't sign Jamal Adams. Because if Aaron Glenn is truly trying to trade it, if Jamal Adams shows up to One Jets Drive, wants to meet with Aaron Glenn, wants to get a job, this is what Aaron Glenn hopefully says.
You get the fuck out.
Because enough. God, I was not planning on getting fired up over the Jets on May 16th, but here we are. I'm fired up over the Knicks. Let's go. Go Knicks. I'll be in the building tonight. Knicks in 6. Speaking of the Knicks, our top raffle prize is a Jalen Brunson signed jersey. The raffle is on Monday. This is very well the last show until Monday. I don't know if I'm doing a show tomorrow, and I know I'm not doing a show Sunday. So if you want in, and for today's show, memberships are boosted +5. So if you gift for 10, you're getting 15. If you gift for 5, you're getting 10. You gift for $10, a super chat, that's boosted as well. So boosted memberships for the final show before the raffle. On Monday, we're giving away a signed Brunson jersey, signed Aaron Glenn jersey, signed Curtis Martin jersey, and a signed CJ Mosley jersey on Monday. So get ready for that. All right, let's get to some super chats here. Your calls as well. If you missed it, Jamal Adams says he wants to be a Jet. And the Jets had to thank Greg Zuerlein. Tremendous. What a franchise. Dylan with a super chat. Dylan, thank you very much, sir. Normally this would be 2. Today, this is 7 for this final show. +5 on all memberships. Got my Klecko helmet today. Jamal Adams returning would be wild. I don't see it happening. But I'm glad your Klecko helmet that you won, Dylan, made it safely. Rasta Dread writes in, this was the same guy who danced while smoking a cigar and said it wasn't personal. Doesn't seem like an Aaron Glenn guy anyway. I'm good on him. Once again, maybe he's matured. He sounded pretty mature when he spoke with these fans, the Jet Lounge crew, for 2 hours. He's not good at football anymore. If Jamal Adams was still good and wanted to come back, I'd be more open to it. Because ultimately, if you wear my team's jersey and can help my team win, I'm going to look past a lot of shit. That's just how I am. All right? I want to win games. I'm tired of this team being trash. If he could help the Jets win, I'd be open to it. I don't think he's good anymore. He can't stay on the field. And when he has been on the field, now he's not good. He's not the same Jamal Adams. I mean, if he was 70% of what he once was, I'll have the conversation. Even 60%. It's not like the Jets have a great safety room. He's just not good. Give me K. Adams over Jamal Adams. Jet it out. Super chat. Cuts the line. I'll take Samuel Adams instead. I would too. Why not? Chef Kevin in the house. My man Jake, thanks for the great shows. Jet saying thank you to Greg is very insulting. It took a new regime to cut him loose. Ridiculous. Hashtag Knicks and 6. I'll give you this.
Hey, go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go!
It's mind-boggling. Thank you, Greg Zuerlein. And people thinking this is not a big deal don't get it. It is a big deal. This is the stuff we're talking about. Well, this is why you have the perception that you're a joke franchise. Stuff like this. This is not a serious post. And this is just one example. There's so many things I could point to. It's just, Greg Zuerlein, nice guy. Just cut him in peace. That's it. We don't need to say just sucked on the way out or thank you. You cut him. It's fine. It's not personal, Greg. I wish you and your family well. We don't need a thank you post for you. Thank you for what? Derailing our season last year? Because he had a lot to do with it. Oh, but Jake, Aaron Rodgers only won 5 games, and the Zach Wilson Jets won 7. Yeah, because Greg Zuerlein was 35 of 38 in 2023. How many games did the Jets lose last year because of Zuerlein? A lot. Conservatively, it's at least 2. I mean, I'm fired up, man. Get me to the Garden. Stephen Craig, I swear only the freaking Jets. It's always something, man. Chino in the raffle for 7 plus 5 on all memberships, baby. And $10 super chats or higher. Good thing the Knicks play tonight to get our minds off Greg no leg nonsense. Bing bong. Let's go.
Bang! Bang!
John in the raffle for 6. Thank you, John. Your membership went to listener ML Jr. It's plus 5 on all entries because in all likelihood, this is the final show before the raffle on Monday. Peg and Artie in the raffle. They gifted 5 memberships. That's 12 entries.
Bang! Bang!
Here we go. If you hear your name called, thank you to Peg and Artie. Kevin S., Matthew, Carl Clark, Sean Sharp, Daniel Lopez, all receiving channel memberships. All right, load up your calls on the Gusbuster hotline, and we will get to them. Appreciate all of you tuning in. First up today on the hotline is an OG and one of the more beloved callers we have.
Good afternoon, Jacob.
Hello, Kyle. How are you?
Good. I'm glad to see you are brimming with passion for your team on May 16th in the NFL offseason.
It bothers me how much I still care. It really does.
I wildly disagree with you on Zuerlein.
You want to thank him?
I don't know if they needed to thank him, but I'm not offended by it. And I'm going to tell you why. I think he's a markedly different case than Hassan Reddick. And I think you kind of know why already. We kind
Did
of...
the Reddick thing bother you?
Oh, it bothered me to no end. But that was a live action video of in season of him going out to the practice field when he was coming off a holdout. It's a different situation. I think that we had gotten verbal assurances from him that he was going to show up and play out the season, and then he backtracked because he thought he had us over a barrel. He had done nothing for the team to that point, right? With Zuerlein, different story. He had kicked well for us in the past. I'm willing to allow for the fact that perhaps he was hurt last year. He didn't perform. It was not a live action video. It was just a placard. Thank you. I get what you're saying that it's not absolutely necessary, but I'm not going to get upset over it either.
I just thought we were past the silly stuff. Is it in the grand scheme of things the biggest deal in the world? No, but it's not an isolated thing is my point. It's like too much. We care too much about what the perception is on social media rather than the focus being on winning games. And this is another example of that.
I don't think that as much that Aaron Glenn has his fingers in with the Jets, I'm pretty sure that social media is probably not at the top of his to-do list. So they probably did this on their own. It's fine. Like, the guy's had a pretty good career. Seems like he's a good guy. Send him out the right way. Hassan Reddick can burn in hell. I'm glad we're getting the comp pick for him. So
did the Jets do a thank you post for Javon Kinlaw, or did we thank him when he left? No,
they didn't. But then again, he never performed. Right? He was there for 1 year. At least Zuerlein in the prior years to this past year had performed, and you could possibly give him the excuse that he had been injured. It was time to move on. I'm a little puzzled as to why they waited so long. Like, I thought that they were maybe waiting past July 1st to cut some of these guys.
I thought they saved money if they waited till June 1, but apparently
June 1 is what I meant. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just glad he's gone. I don't know what took so long. They should have done it the same day they got rid of Morstead. Why are we isolating the kicker and punter days apart?
Yeah. That's the one question is why they waited so long. I'm not too caught up with kind of how they did it. Must win tonight, obviously, for the Knicks. You don't want to have to go to Boston for a game 7. I've got my spicy margarita chilling in the fridge, and dinner is on the way for the kiddies.
Let's go. Did the Patrick Ewing photo arrive?
The Patrick Ewing did arrive, and the other package from earlier in the week. So thanks to all involved there.
Let's go. The Clifton office is decked out in some
I got to
raffle wins.
I got to get some frames, some appropriate frames, and a stud finder so I can find out where I'm going to hang all this stuff. But yeah, it's pretty exciting that I'm going to have an office worthy of a man of my stature. So.
I love it, ladies and gentlemen. The great Kyle Clifton. Kyle,
Thanks,
let's go
Jake.
Knicks. The Kyle Clifton checking in. Hey, shout out to Kenny. He's part of the Jet Lounge. Nice job with the Jamal Adams stuff, Kenny. We love the show with it if you're just tuning in. How about our girl, Janner G? She came to the watch party to watch the Knicks the other night. Now she's sending in a $50 super chat. So this normally gets you 10 raffle entries, right? 10 memberships for a $50 super chat. It's +5 for the show because I don't know if I'm doing a Saturday show tomorrow. So I want to make sure that we give more people a chance to win because the raffle will be on the show on Monday. For those of you who are unaware, the JB jersey Janergy's referring to is the Jalen Brunson jersey. Janergy, thank you very much.
Now, give me money. Or I shoot him. And I shoot all you motherfuckers. And then we take it. Your choice, bitches.
Let's go, Knicks. Aaron with a super chat. Jamal, I'm sorry. No, LOL. Thank you, Aaron. I'm with you. Darth Crypto has gifted 5 channel memberships. Bang! 5 memberships gifted, 10 raffle entries. Pat Ruddy, Sergi, Paul Taxter, Philip Allen, Shannon, all receiving memberships. Ladies and gentlemen, the pride of Ithaca College, Robert Morris, with 5 channel memberships. Bang! Bang! The following 5 people are channel members now. Brian Edwards, KG131, Michael Caslin, Fernando B, and DJet84. That's 10 entries for Robert Morris. Leanie in North Carolina. Hey, shout out to Leanie. Her husband, I believe, has been discharged from the either hospital or rehab center. I forget the last update from Leanie. But anyway, it's all good news. She's been posting in the Discord all the updates. So we're glad to hear that your husband is doing a lot better, Leanie. Open phone lines for those of you who want in on the conversation. We opened with the Jets, of course. Let's hit on the Knicks. I think it's very simple. You got to win this game tonight. You got to win this game. You're home. They don't have Jason Tatum. You gave them that game the other night. I think they rallied around the fact they were not going to lose at home as the defending champs. But now the Knicks are home. All right, I don't expect Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby to shoot 5 of 26 combined. I expect the Knicks to come out and find a way to get this done tonight. You have Jalen Brunson. His record and his stats off Knick playoff losses in his career are extraordinary. I think he's going to bring it. Who's helping Brunson? Who's stepping up tonight? It should be Karl Anthony Towns. Be aggressive. Let's go. Set the tone early. All right? You got Drew Holiday on you, go to the hoop. And it's on Thibodeau to run plays for Cat and get him involved early. And you need OG to show up. He was awful the other night. Bridges. When the Knicks win, Bridges usually has a big role in it, especially in this series. So find a way, man. Give the crowd a reason to go crazy and get it done. It was meant to be done at home tonight. It was. Knicks in 6. It was meant to be done at home and end this streak of not clinching a playoff series at home since 1999. Get back to the conference finals for the first time since 2000. Get it done. Not saying you couldn't go to Boston and win a Game 7. I don't believe that, they won't win a Game 7. I don't buy that. But I don't want to mess with that. Anything can happen in a Game 7. And even if you win that Game 7, then you got to play 2 days later on Wednesday, right? Because Game 7 will be Monday. And Indiana's had all week to rest up. So they're at a huge advantage in that game. You don't want to mess with that. Plus, someone could get hurt. You never know. Don't let it come down to that. All right? You're up 3-1. You gave him Game 5, fine. You know, I don't think Derek White's going to shoot 1,000% from 3 again. I don't think Luke Cornett is going to play like, prime Hakeem Olajuwon. Is Jaylen Brown going to be really good? Sure, but you know what? Find a way to get it done. This has got to be the night the Knicks get this done. Period. End of story. And I think the Knicks will win tonight. I'm somewhat confident. But you can't lose this game. You certainly can't lose this series. They got to get this done. Period. 25 with a super chat. LFG Knicks.
Bang! Bang!
25. Thank you very much. 10 raffle entries for your 25. Aaron, same thing. He's in the raffle with a $20 super chat.
Go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York.
Luppy, super chat here. The best part thing Jamal did for us was decleat the Pats mascot at the Pro Bowl. While we're at it, thank you, Bubby Brister, for that shovel pass. Look, Jamal Adams as a Jet was a very, very good player. I don't want to take away from what he did with the Jets. But I think he owes a lot of his career, by the way, to Greg Williams for utilizing him the way he did. Jamal was a really good player here. But let's be real, the best thing he did as a Jet was be good enough for a franchise to be dumb enough to actually trade 2 first-round picks for him, which turned into Garrett Wilson and Elijah Vera Tucker. Pretty good deal. One of the best trades ever. That's why Jet fans loved Joe Douglas originally. It was the trades. Right? Look what he got for Adams. Look what he got, a second and a fourth for Darnold. That's what he loved. I just feel like at the end of the day, he's just not a good football player anymore. He's 29, turning 30 in October. He can't stay on the field. And Aaron Glenn had him last year in Detroit. They signed him. They had no healthy bodies last year. And they cut him before the regular season ended. If he showed anything, even if some of their injured players maybe came back for the start of the playoff run, I'd have to check that because I wasn't following Detroit that closely last year, other than what we all were doing, just seeing they were winning every week and watching them in primetime. I like, if he showed anything, they wouldn't have cut him. They would have kept him. They would have been like, he's good. We'll keep him for depth, if anything else. So I don't see it. I think somewhere in my apartment I have a signed helmet by Jamal Adams. Mini helmet. Anyone want that? Raffle prize? Purple Belt Mike. Super chat in the raffle for 10. Knicks in 6. Give me the most important player tonight in the X Factor. Also, I'd rather take a Gormani fart to the face than see Jamal starting at strong safety. Go Knicks, go Jets, and go Mets. Purdy got a 5-year deal. Holy, Brock Purdy just got a contract. Let's see this. Brock Purdy contract. Yep. $53 million per year, $181 million in guarantees, $55 million in new money over the first 3 years. Highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL on a per year basis. Dak Prescott, $60 million. Joe Burrow, $55. Allen, $55. Jordan Love, $55. Lawrence, $55. Tua, $53.1. Purdy, $53. Goff, $53. So Purdy took a little less than top of the market I mean, I would too if I was him. Because let's be real. I think Brock Purdy's a good quarterback. I think he is certainly elevated by the fact that he has arguably the best offensive mind calling his plays. So Brock Purdy's rookie deal was 4 years, $3.74 million. Now he just got 5 years, $265. $181 million in guarantees. Wow. I mean, look, you either have a quarterback or you don't. What was the Niners' alternative if they didn't pay him? I mean, people are going to say it's a lot of money. I get it, but what was the alternative? You know, you either have a quarterback or you don't in this league. And clearly, he's good enough to, you know, at least compete with. They went to a Super Bowl with him. Right? Like, that happened. Here's the Schefter tweet that references the money for quarterbacks here. Tua making $53 million is crazy, considering he can't stay on the field. Big money for Purdy. But I'll say this. What was the alternative if you weren't going to pay him, right? That's the question. I don't think they had an alternative, and that's why he got paid. Next guy up. That's why, if I'm the Jets, Sauce Gardner, all right, maybe he wasn't the best cornerback in football this past year. He wasn't. Stingley was better. But through their first 2 years, Sauce was better than Stingley. Sauce was a 2-time first-team All-Pro. J.C. Horn is not better than Sauce. He already got paid. You got to pay your own. $53 million per year, $181 million in guarantees for Brock Purdy. Good for him. Now it's going to be a lot harder to have you know, the all-star team that he's had around him. Super chat from Carl. Do you think the new regime will grab Chris Olave now that he's talking to Pitt? I don't believe that the Jets are going to trade for Olave. I'd be surprised. Now, I'm a little weary with where that Olave trade talk is coming from. The guy who's like reporting on that is not known to be a breaking news guy. So I'm a little weary to think that that's actually a real thing. But if Chris Olave is available, I would check in if I'm the Jets, but I don't think they're going to. Luppy with a super chat. Jake, are you going to put out a presser to thank BMAC? I don't think so. I don't think so. All right, open phone lines for anyone who wants in on the conversation. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Beast is currently dealing with 2 trolls who are sitting on hold in my private chat right now that I just noticed. Beast, I would recommend you stop responding to these trolls. They won't show your face. Jay says, imagine if Fields turns out to be good, what will he cost? Well, here's the benefit the Jets have in that scenario, Jay. Look at the contract Darnold just got. It's only guaranteed for a year. Oh, $100 million. Only first year is really guaranteed. Look at the contract Baker got. He's not making $55 million a year. He's better than Tua. He's better than these guys. I know Frankie thinks that Trevor Lawrence is somehow better than Baker. I don't. I'd take Baker Mayfield over Lawrence, Tua, Love. I might even take him over Dak. In fact, I think I would. Baker Mayfield, I think, is better in the clutch than Dak. So, really, if you're on like your second or third team, it's harder to get that top-of-the-line contract than the guy who was drafted and developed by the team that took him. Like, next guy up seemingly only applies if you're still on your team that drafted you, right? Like, look at this list. All the players on this list were drafted by the team that gave him this contract, right? Dak, Burrow, Allen, Love, Trevor, Tua, Purdy. I guess Goff's the exception here. Right? Goff is the only outlier. He was drafted by the Rams. But I think Goff is unique because, I mean, look what he did with Detroit. Like, he means so much to that franchise because they were so bad. He got him out of the darkness. So, look, if Fields ends up being good, first off, this would be an amazing problem to have. And the Jets will pay him. You hope that happens. Papa says Love is only going to get better. You would think so, but Baker Mayfield's really good right now. And also, Baker Mayfield was good in Cleveland for a little bit, too. He won a playoff game. Like, it wasn't awful. I think as we've learned, it was more the Browns being a disaster than anything else. Once again, if you're tuning in, the Raffles Monday, this is the last show to be entered in. Any membership you gift is +5. So if you gift 1, you're in for 6. You gift 10, you're in for 15. Sign Brunson jersey. Sign Glenn jersey. Sign Martin jersey. Sign CJ Mosley jersey. We give it away on Monday, most likely on the first show, as long as I can get everything set up. Chesso says, Jake, you going to the Garden tonight? I am. Let's go Knicks. How you been, my friend? Luppy says, when was the last time we drafted then paid a quarterback? Pennington, right? Let's look up Chad Pennington contracts. I don't remember what Pennington. This is when I was like getting into football. I'd imagine the Jets gave Pennington a second contract. Yeah, they gave him an extension in 2004. 7-year deal. That's when you could still give out those kind of deals. They were more common. Jets gave Chad Pennington a 7-year deal for $64.1 million with $18 million guaranteed. He earned $35 million of it. He got 54.6% of that deal. So I would say Chad Pennington was the last time the Jets drafted and then paid a quarterback. Chad was a franchise quarterback. I've said this for years. Injuries are the only reason why he wasn't around longer with the Jets. When Chad was healthy, the Jets made the playoffs. 02, 04, and 06. Curly has gifted a channel membership. He's in the raffle, +5. Curly's membership went to... I'll tell you in a moment. His membership went to listener Luke Spoleto. Luke, make sure you thank Curly. All right. Michael says, I can't wait for the Michael Clemens video tribute.
You get the fuck out.
More of your calls right now. PBM's on the line. What's up, Mike?
Yo, I'm just in the chat here. Packers fan seems nice. From what I see here,
that guy just joined. I don't think Packers fan was the guy that was originally arguing with Beast.
Got it. Okay, so that's when I started because he's talking about how he wants the Knicks to win and he likes the Jets. And
he doesn't have a camera on. Packer fan, you turn a camera on, I'll go to you. But these people hide behind no cameras.
I don't think he's hiding. I think he's good.
All right, well, he doesn't have a camera on.
Oh, he doesn't know who Beast is. Yeah, so he wasn't messing with him, so I don't know who he is.
Well, Packers fan, if you turn your camera on, we'll go to you after Mike.
But it's Knicks in 6. Let's get it done tonight. I'm wearing my Mets shirt right now, one of my Alonso jerseys, but I really don't care. The Mets can lose 22-0, and if the Knicks win, I don't really give a shit.
It's regular. Look, the Subway Series is always fun, and it's a shame that the Knicks are playing tonight, so it kind of takes away from all the excitement. But it's a regular season game in May. Ultimately, this is Game 6 of the Eastern Conference semifinals.
Do they usually play in May? I feel like this is early.
It is earlier than normal. They usually play in like June and July.
They should change this to be July from going forward because I'm going to watch until 7 o'clock and then it's Knicks. And I use my tablet to talk to Discord with the company of Jace, so I can't even use my double screen. So I'm not even going to be paying attention to the game at all once tip-off happens.
Pull up the laptop.
Man, then I have to go charge it.
That's what I do.
I guess so. I might as well.
I mean, I've done that. I have 3 TV setups. I'll have the game on my phone when I'm at the Knicks later. I mean, look, here's the thing too, though, right? It's 3 games here, and then they're playing what? I think they play in June, the games or they play July 4th weekend at Citi Field.
Yeah,
I've had this idea for years. I've said this when I've been on ESPN before. I think the Yankees and the Mets should play 4 games, right? This year this is one of those years where it's 3-3. But I've always said for years, the Subway Series should be a 4-game set, 2 in the Bronx,
2 in Queens, and it should be Subway Series week every year on the calendar. You do it on a Tuesday through, or I guess it would be, you do it on a Monday through Thursday, because both ballparks will sell out in the on weekdays, which is a rarity. That's why I'm surprised these games are weekend sets, because they always sell out. So you could do them Monday through Thursday, and it's Subway Series week every year. It's 2 in the Bronx, 2 in Queens. You switch the order up, and you just play a series, the Subway Series every year.
So they should do that.
That was redundant.
Then,
Subway Series. You play the Subway Series every year, in with the teams playing like a legit 4-game set, and 2 in each franchise's ballpark. I think that'd be exciting for the fans every year.
I agree, and I also think it should be 6 games, but the 2 other games, 1 game home and away, and you base it around September 11th. So you do the day before September 11th, and then on September 11th, or September 11th and the day after.
You actually could do that's actually a pretty good idea too. If you want to make the Yankees and Mets, you want to make Subway Series week, you want to make it around 9/11 every year. I think that actually would be really cool. Because remember, one year they did play on 9/11. What was it? It was the 20th anniversary. Major League Baseball had the Yankees and Mets play on September 11th. They had a series that weekend, which made sense. So there's no reason why they couldn't set that up every year to have that be the thing. That makes that's how you grow baseball. That's actually a really good thing for the city. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's what I think. They should do that. It's really not even my idea. My dad was saying it. He said that's how it should work out.
Mr. PBM?
Yeah. Mr. PBM.
Tremendous. How come you didn't come to the K-Show remote today, Mike? Couldn't you want to trek into the city in the rain?
Hell no. I really don't even listen to the K-Show that much.
Really? It was pretty cool. Very good turnout. I didn't recognize any company members there, but it was fun. I got to say hello to David Cohn, who was Michael's guest, and
wow, that's cool.
It was fun. It was a good time. That's my view from behind the setup.
Hell yeah. Have you ever worked with K before?
I've only filled in for him. I've never actually done a show with him.
Oh.
He did give me some pretty good hotel recommendations for Tampa, though, because I'm working on our Tampa Bay ASMANIAC trip. Do
you know what that's going to cost?
Not yet. I don't.
I have to try and persuade the wife.
Yeah, we need her there.
Yeah. That'll
the flight shouldn't be too bad because there's so many of them.
Yeah, no, the flight's not bad. I can go right out of Long Island, actually, to get into Tampa.
Even better.
Yeah. So I don't have to even go to JFK. But I want to go to start different stadiums because I'm tired of MetLife. Every time I go there, they lose. So I'm trying to.
Well, they lose a lot on the road, too. As someone who's done organized road trips for the Jets the last several years, have they won any of them? Let's think. Vegas, L. Well, actually, they won.
London was an L.
London was an L. I went to Dallas. That was an L. Well, when the Jets came to Houston, I lived in Houston at the time, so it wasn't a road trip. They did win when they played the Texans in 2021.
That's the last time I saw a win. It was the Mike White game against the Bengals. That's the last time I saw the Jets win live.
That was a great game.
Yeah, I thought they were going to lose, too, and then they came back late in the fourth.
Good times.
Yeah. I still remember Mike White with the catching the ball with the 2-point conversion. That was awesome.
Philly special.
If he never got hurt, we would have broke the playoff drought.
What if?
Yep. One of the many, many what ifs. Or if we beat the Steelers, we would have won the Super Bowl against Aaron Rodgers.
Don't pain me.
What if?
Let's go next.
That's like today. What if we won? We'd win the championship. No, F that. We're going to win today. And then we're going after the Pacers. And then I don't give a shit who we play in the West.
Knicks in 6.
Say go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go!
Yeah. All right, so memberships to get caught up here. Right back to your calls here. Abbreviated show. So if you want in, now's the time. Friday Jones, thank you very much. You're in the raffle for 6. It's +5 on all gifted memberships and super chats. Because I don't think I'm doing. If the Knicks win tonight, I'm out late tonight. I don't know if I'm doing a show tomorrow. I'll just leave it at that. And then Sunday, I'm doing 4 hours on Mad Dog Sports Radio from 12 to 4 Eastern time. So if you want 4 hours of me, you can get it in radio form on Sirius XM Channel 82. NME 711 Jets. This is a first-time gifter, I believe. In the raffle for 10 with this 5-star. The following 5 people are channel members, courtesy of NME 711 Jets. Let's see. Joel, Christopher Phillips, Black Fry, John, and NYC 2SRQ. Michael Duramo. Good to see you, Mike. Appreciate your support as always. In the raffle for 10. Bang! Gifted 5 memberships there. Jets Pauly, Tom Ruck, Ross, Omari, and Tandem receiving the membership honors there. All right, let's say hello right now on the hotline to Party with Peg and Artie. We got Artie with us now. What's up, Artie?
Hey, Jake, what's happening?
Is that a Jamal Adams jersey you put on?
Oh, this little thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. But just kind of fell out of my closet on me, I guess. I like Jamal, you know? I mean, I don't think he's going to come on to the Jets. They're not going to bring him on with the youth movement. He probably can't play anymore anyway, but I liked him when he was with the Jets, you know, until he kind of wigged out. He was a good player.
No, as a player, we can't, like, anyone trying to, like, say he wasn't good with the Jets. Like, he was a really good player. He made the All-Pro team, and all his issues were not being paid a contract right away. And then he went to Manish Mehta at the time of the Daily News and, like, bashed the entire organization. And look, Adam Gase was a terrible coach, but he bashed the head coach. And like, that was crazy talk. It just, the whole thing was such a mess. And
he was popping off at people on Twitter too, fans and stuff like that. He was replying in a negative manner to people who were, you know, I mean, fans are fans. They're going to say negative stuff to you, but, you know, you can't be popping back off to them and saying outrageous things either. It don't look good.
Yeah, look, I just think his time has passed. He's going to be 30, and he hasn't been able to stay healthy in years. I don't think the Jets are going to sign him.
You know, Peg don't like living in Florida like this time of the year because of the heat. I don't like living in Florida this time of the year because there's no juice down here. There's a Subway Series, and the Knicks are in Game 6, and it's like dead. You know, it's like up there, it must be really wild. You guys must be really having a good time getting ready for these games up there. So I wish the Knicks a lot of luck tonight. I hope they pull it off. And, you know, the Subway Series is always fun, you know, the banter back and forth.
It's fun.
You know,
it's a shame that the Knicks are overshadowing, because this would be one of the bigger nights of the baseball season because of Soto's first game back. And it's still a big deal. I know people are still super into it. It's just not going to get the attention that it should be getting, you know?
Yeah. I wore my Mets Hawaiian shirt to work today, and people were asking me what the shirt was about, you know, because they're down here. They don't know what the Subway Series. I was telling them that this is like a big deal. You know, if you're from up there or if you live up there, you know, it's kind of a big deal anyway.
It's a very big deal. I mean, it's a bigger deal, I think, for the fans than the actual teams, because the reality is, like, the Mets and Yankees playing different leagues, different divisions.
Yeah, and Jake, if I can make a recommendation for Tampa, I know you're looking into bars for the meetup and stuff. I was just thinking maybe the Hard Rock, if that's something you could look into as far as the meetup. They have a deck up on the second floor out by the pool. It has an outdoor bar out there. It's a really big area. It holds a lot of people. There's plenty of seats up there too, as far as I remember. And I remember hanging out up there and running into the Big Show. With me and my son were up there. We seen the Big Show. Yeah, he just come walking by. I said, "Holy shit, the Big Show!" So that was kind of cool. He was a nice guy. We said hello. He looked like he was on a mission, and plus he's pretty big, so I didn't want to take a chance of him being in a bad mood or whatever. So I just said hello. He said hello, and he went on.
You mean to tell me the Big Show is actually big?
He's big. He's bigger than. He like Beast could fit in his pocket.
Wow.
Yeah, that big. Anyway, have a great day. Enjoy the games tonight, everybody, and we'll touch base again down the road.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Party with Peg and Artie.
You get the fuck out.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Dylan Terriman in the house. Dylan won a Joe Klecko helmet. Now he's back for more. He says, needed more boosted entries. Have a great weekend, everyone. Go Yanks. Dylan, you're the man, my friend. Appreciate you. We'll get Dylan on again soon. Dylan will come on for a very special film review in the near future. He's got some new tools to make these film reviews even better. So I'm excited. Plus, we're going to get Fialco on too once he gets done with school and everything he has going on. So we still got good content coming your way. Let's see. Chuck says the Super Bowl win in Tampa was lame. Is that the Bucks won it in their home stadium, right? That was the last time the Super Bowl was there in 2020. Let's see. Gator Fialco has summer school not available. You're right. The Lup Man is gifted 5 memberships. It's +5 till the end of the show. Let's go.
Go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go!
Luppy's memberships went to TJ, Jess, TJK, Ritta, JK, all receiving memberships. By the way, I have our next emoji ready, but we need to just adjust the size here. We got 2 options. Chef Kevin, if you're still in the chat, I want you to pick what your preference is. These are the 2 submissions for the Chef Kevin emoji. And just like we let PBM decide which one he wants, we will do the same for the chef. But I'm trying to find. Here it is. Here are the 2. So this one was sent in by Joe Mike, who's always creative with the emojis. It will not look blurry when it's uploaded. It's just blurry because of the size for YouTube here. And then this is the other one that Addison made. Addison, you will have to send me a revised size for this one. But those are the choices, Chef Kev. So you tell me which one you like, and when we have a spot, it's yours. Those are the 2. Speaking of Chef Kev, he's coming to our Yankees outing on June 29th. I'm going to put the link in the chat again right now for those watching live. We do have some tickets left for that. Yankees A's, June 29th, pregame meetup at Billy's beforehand. So keep that in mind. More of your calls. Barbarossa's on the line. What's up, Barbarossa? It's not a Friday show unless Barbarossa calls.
Yo.
Let's go.
What's up? Cheers, Asmaniacs. Cheers, Jake. So this is a really great Friday for a couple of reasons. Right now, I'm in beautiful Vermont. I'm out of New York. I'm at my buddy's bachelor party. I'm trying to have a good time. Gonna get my drink on. But I know last week when I called in, I said my wife has her green card interview. So I appreciate the support. She got her green card, so she's on her way to becoming an American, which is cool. So she got 3 years before she can become a citizen.
Wow.
So I'm psyched about that. So thanks for everybody who was being supportive. Yeah.
Where's your wife originally from?
Yeah. She's from Mexico.
That's awesome. Congrats to
She's
her.
from
That's
Mexico.
great.
Yeah.
Congrats to you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, thank you. So I just wanted to just say, Yankees, go Yankees. We're going to take it to the Mets tonight. I can feel it. I like Juan Soto though. I don't want him to do well, but I like him. You know, he did well for us. So I bear no ill will towards Juan Soto. Knicks got to win tonight. I'll be bearing some ill will if they don't. They let the Celtics back in the game and they let them win. And they just have to do better. They have to really rep New York. But I think they'll get it done tonight. I really think they will.
I think so too. I think, look, give credit
That's all,
to the
man.
Celtics.
Cheers.
Barbarossa, cheers to you,
Yeah.
man. Congrats again to your wife and you. That's awesome. Look, I just think a lot of things happened in that game that I don't expect tonight. Like Luke Cornett's performance, how well Derek White shot, how poor OG and Bridges were combined, 5 of 26. I mean, OG was terrible. Even Cat didn't play well either. I don't care if he finished with whatever, 19 points or he stunk too. It was hollow points. As Marv would say, garbage time. I think the Knicks bounce back tonight. I just think we got Brunson, and that's the biggest thing. We got the player that you don't want to see in this spot that will get everyone else around him to be able to rise to the moment. My thing with Soto is I have no ill will towards him as far as, like, I don't hate him, but if I was going to the game tonight, I would boo him. Now, booing means you boo, not throw stuff on the field, not say anything personal. But I think every Yankee fan has every right to boo. Here's a guy that you showered with love for an entire year. You offered him a tremendous contract. He has said since that he thought, it was always going to be the Yankees. They were his number one. But then ultimately took the money, which is fine. But I don't love the way he's kind of like talked around it because it was all about money, as we all know, which I don't begrudge him for doing it, but just say that. When it's like, oh, well, I think the Yankees are going to be good for 6 to 7 years. And then after that, I don't know. Oh, gee, maybe the team that hasn't had a losing record since 1992 is a pretty safe bet. They're going to remain really good. So, look, he's an amazing player, and without him, they don't get to the World Series last year. So I always will respect and appreciate that, but I have no problem if you boo him. They should boo him. Just don't throw stuff on the field and make it personal. That's the only thing. Jesse says, ironically, he took less money to be on the Mets. He didn't, though. The Yankees were never going to offer him the sweet package, the 22 premium seats behind the plate, the clothing line for his family or his mom, the 24/7 security. Everything he asked for, the Mets gave him, which is their right, but the Yankees were not going to do that. That wasn't going to happen. So I have no issue with him taking the money and going to the Mets. But I also have no issue with Yankees fans booing him. They should. Like this, shouldn't we be better than that? No, man. Let fans be fans. You have every right to boo. And also, the money wasn't close either. Because after the 5th year, if the Mets decide to tack on another year to his deal, his contract balloons up to $805 million. And the Yankees' final offer was what, $760, I think it was? $760 over 16. The Mets offer was 15 years. So the AAV for the Yankees was lower than the Mets. He got a much better deal from the Mets. Which is his right. Like I have no problem. I thought if it was close, he would have chose the Yankees. That's what surprised me. I didn't think the Yankees would have the top offer because I knew Cohen was going to do everything possible to get him. But I thought if the Yankees were close, I think he would choose the Yankees. That was always my thought. I didn't think the Yankees would go anywhere near $700 million. I said it on the show. I'm like, if this gets over $600 million, I don't think the Yankees are going to do it. They just paid Judge $360. How's that contract look right now, by the way? 9 years for Judge at $360. Soto got 15 years at $805 when it's all said and done. Not counting all the suites and that stuff, too, that the Yankees just weren't going to do. They didn't do it for Derek Jeter. They didn't do it for Judge. They didn't do it for Garrett Cole. They're not going to do it for Juan Soto. So he's a great player. Like, any Yankee fan who tries to belittle him as a player, like, this guy's great. And I do think the booing might get him going tonight. So I already bet on Soto to hit a home run tonight. So at least I can make money on this potential scenario. But he's a great player. But I'll give credit to the Yankees for this. Their pivot has been extraordinary so far this year. The fact that they're in first place, the rest of the division's not any good. Max Fried, if the season ended today, would win the Cy Young Award, and they need him because Garrett Cole's out for the year. If they had re-signed Soto, they wouldn't have Fried. So the Yankees right now lead the AL in runs scored per game. Now, is some of it sustainable? I mean, I don't think Trent Grisham's going to be Barry Bonds. He's been better than Soto if you look at the numbers, but I think some of the Yankees' young players have played better. They haven't had a single at-bat yet from Stanton. So I think, you look at how it's worked out, at least for this year, the Yankees might be better off with how it worked out because of Cole getting hurt. Because then you wouldn't have Fried. And if the Yankees didn't have Fried right now, they would be in a world of trouble because he's been that good. You lost 3/5 of your rotation before the year started, right? Stroman got hurt. Clark Schmidt was hurt at the start of the year. Luis Heel, who won the Rookie of the Year last year, is going to be out till the All-Star break. So, I mean, both teams are really good. And that's the bottom line. The difference is the Yankees play in a way weaker league. Like the Detroit Tigers have the best record in baseball right now. If the Yankees played the Tigers in the ALCS, they'd be a pretty big favorite. That's just the reality. Let's see. Tyrone with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Tyrone. +5 on this. So instead of 2, it's 7 entries. No thanks to Greg Zuerlein. We should have been 4-2 in the first place. Blew the year, including the defense. Go Knicks. Look, Greg Zuerlein wasn't the only reason why the Jets were a disaster last year, but him being really, really bad contributed to this spiral. Like, if he's great against the Bills, they win that game that night. And all of a sudden, the Jets are 3-3 in first place, and maybe things stabilized with Jeff Ulbrich. Probably not because he was god-awful, but, like, before things truly spiraled, their kicker cost them games. It happened. And it sucks, but it happened. And it's just crazy because Greg was so good the previous year and the year before that. Right? Zuerlein was a Jet in 22 and 20. Yeah, he was a Jet for 3 seasons. Anthony in the house. Anthony is a huge Yankee Jet fan. Love it. Bang! Jake, who needs Soto? Who needs Soto when we have Grisham for only $5 million? Let's go Yankee. Or let's go Knicks. Amen. Trent Grisham's been amazing, man. It's crazy. He's been so good. In fact, he's in the lineup tonight, right? They're sitting. What's his name is not in the starting lineup because they're going to put Grisham out there. Let's see. From left to right, I think they're going Bellinger, Grisham, Judge. I saw the Yankee lineup before. Where is it? I know Ben Rice is not playing, right? Because they're playing Grisham. I've been focused on the Knicks all day. But I did see a Yankee lineup before. Let me find this here. Come on. There we go. Yeah, they're Goldschmidt's first. Dominguez is the DH. Peraza is playing third, and then Vivas is at second tonight. Because the Yankees are still dealing with some injuries. Like Jazz Chisholm's been out now for a while and will continue to be out. But Goldschmidt's been great too. And Bellinger hasn't really hit yet, but he's starting to. But Goldie's been amazing. Goldie's hitting like 360. We'd be talking about him if Judge wasn't on his way to winning a third MVP and maybe winning the Triple Crown right now. Robert Morris gifting a membership in the raffle for 6. Let's see. The gifted membership went to Finnegan's Flight Crew. More of your calls right now on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is someone who needs no introduction. He believes all salads are trying to kill him. He believes that chicken does not go with pasta. He believes Joe Douglas should have been fired 2 days before he was hired. And of course, knockouts don't matter if you land enough jabs. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Gary time.
Gas station pizza is better than a Big Mac. The cope is outrageous. Like, you know who my first ever favorite New York Met was?
Who?
Dwight Gooden. When he went to the Yankees and threw a no-hitter, I didn't go, boo! I said, oh, I love Doc. Good for him. Good for Doc. I like Doc.
Yeah, but Doc played for the Mets for many years and won a championship with you. His number's retired.
Okay, when he went to the
You're gonna
Yankees,
compare Doc. You're gonna compare Doc to Juan Soto. You think a Yankee fan should cheer Juan Soto later?
I think you don't want to cheer me. You should like him. Like you should.
I don't hate him. If I was going to the game tonight, and I think I'm going to try and go Sunday night, I would boo him.
It's just so bitter and so
this fan base showered him with nothing but love, and ultimately he left. Right?
Okay, so Soto played for the Yankees for 1 year, and you went to one World Series, right?
Correct.
The 12 years before he got there, how many World Series did you go to?
0.
You should be grateful for his service.
Okay, and he was compensated well for his service. He made $30 million last year.
There's no reason to boo him. You paid him well, and he performed well.
I'm booing
it's not
him
like he
because
came there and hit 220 with 12 homers. He played really well.
He did. I have nothing but good things to say about him as a baseball player. He's a phenomenal player. But I would boo him. He left. He didn't want to be a Yankee. That's fine. Boo. Every fan has every right to boo. I made it clear. Don't throw stuff on the field. Don't make it personal. But fans pay a lot of money. Boo.
Texas fans threw bottles on the field. He got a pass interference call overturned. So I don't know. Maybe no, don't throw stuff on the field.
You don't want to throw anything on the field.
You don't want to throw things on the field. Even if it did work for Texas and they did get the pass interference against Georgia overturned, don't throw stuff on the field.
Now, if Soto tries to make a play and right, and those Yankee fans that were there at the World Series try to grab the ball out of his glove, things happen.
But that is what it is. That's part of the game. Like it's not, but you know what I mean. Like that's being a fan. They got kicked out of the game. And I'm sure they would do it again. Well worth it.
I think they got banned by Major League Baseball for the year. They can't go to any games.
Morons. A kid my wife went to high school with jumped on the field at the Ranger game when Sammy Sosa hit his 6th home run. He got arrested, and he got kicked out of the stadium for the rest of the year. He said he would do it again. Yeah. When Piazza went to San Diego, the game he came back, we gave him a standing ovation, and he hit 2 home runs that game, and we cheered for him. When Strawberry hit a home run at Shea, they raised the apple for him. I just don't understand why you're so bitter about. Do you remember that Strawberry hit a home run at Shea Stadium with the Yankees, and they raised the apple for him? Only like halfway though.
You really think I'm bitter? I said nothing but good things about him. I just said I would boo him. He left.
Okay, you a little bit. Barbarossa, I bear no ill will. I hope he doesn't do well. It's like, well,
yeah, I mean,
like,
I hope he
pick a
doesn't.
side.
I hope he doesn't do well either. He's playing the Yankees the next 3 games.
That's reasonable. Marbury is my favorite basketball player ever. When he went to the Knicks, I would have said, "Boo, you suck. I hope you suck." I said, "Good. I hope he does great." And he did great for like 2 years. Like I just like he went to an opportunity that better suited him. It's not like he demanded out and stamped his feet and said, "You have to trade me immediately." He played out his contract, played well, and then he went somewhere else.
He did nothing wrong in how he conducted himself, and he exercised his right as a free agent to sign elsewhere. But that doesn't mean that Yankee fans don't have a right to boo him for leaving. They showered this guy with love for a year straight. And then he left, and some of the comments he made to try and justify the signing took shots at the Yankees because he was too afraid to say, "They paid me the most money, that's why I went." That's what happened here. He got the most money. And the suites and the clothing line and the 24/7 security and all the other things he asked for.
I mean,
if you were a Yankee fan, you would boo too. He was a Yankee
really
for a year.
I'm really not like bitter about guys leaving. Like I've left jobs and I've gotten fired from jobs. I don't begrudge the people who fired me, and like I try to leave on good terms with the company that I left. Like
this is not remotely similar.
He played out his contract.
You
with
can't
the Yankees.
compare yourself to Juan Soto.
But it's the same concept.
It's not. It's not, though. It's different when you're a Major League Baseball player playing for a one of the most famous franchises in sports in the biggest media market in the world. There's nothing to compare that to.
Well, Ohtani did it on the West Coast version of it. Ohtani went from the Angels to the Dodgers.
Correct. But the difference is if he left the Dodgers to go to the Angels, that would be the equivalent. Not even, because the Mets are way bigger than the Angels. But like Ohtani did the reverse. He went to the bigger team. He left the small team to go to the bigger team. Juan Soto left the Yankees. He's the first free agent in my lifetime that the Yankees actually wanted to keep. They didn't stay. So Yankee fans aren't gonna be like, "Yeah, that's awesome, man. Good luck." They're gonna boo him. That's fine.
It's like grow up. All right, whatever.
Grow up. I'm gonna boo. That's how it goes.
2 points outside of the Met Yankee game. I actually forgot I was so intrigued with the basketball games. I actually forgot the Mets and Yankees played today. But that starts in like an hour and a half.
You left the Discord. Should I boo you for leaving?
If you, I'm not going to boo you. I'm not going to badmouth you. I'm not going to hold any hostility towards you. I appreciate you, and you guys should join the Discord. It's a heck of a place to
be. See, booing is not bad mouthing. It's booing.
All right.
You should want the Yankee fans. If Soto's the player I think he is, he's probably going to play well this weekend because that's the type of guy he is.
I would I just assume he's going to play well most series because he's a hell of a ball player, and ball players at that level usually play well.
Yeah.
Could he go 1 for 12? It could happen.
Sure.
It's baseball. Yeah. But so 2 points. First, the Knicks. The Knicks are going to win today. I don't even think it's going to be close. I say 112 to 80. 112 to 87.
Reverse jinx. Won't look. Wait, I know what you're doing.
You guys don't. You think I want the Boston Celtics to win at anything?
You might.
You
left our Discord group over people making jokes about Mikal Bridges.
I left the Discord group because of weird sexual requests. Is why I left.
Once again, a guy yelling at you, SMD, is not a weird sexual request.
It's weird to me. I don't know where you guys party a little too hard for me. It's weird to me. That's not how I get down. But you guys do whatever you want.
Captain Literal Man.
I just don't even know about it. What was that?
I said you're Captain Literal Man.
I mean, I guess so. I've acknowledged this. I can see that I'm far too literal to live amongst normal people. I can see that. But no, the Knicks are going to win today. Like I don't even think it's going to be close. It may be close through 3/4, and then they'll blow them out in 4th. Like
what gives you this confidence that the Knicks, who have only played close games this entire playoff run, are now going to blow out the Boston Celtics?
Because they're at home.
Okay.
The biggest in the biggest game in the Garden in years. Like you got a chance to close out the defending champs.
This is definitively
their best player.
This is the biggest game in Madison Square Garden this quarter century, without question.
Yes.
Because it's a chance to clinch and go to the conference finals for the first time in 25 years. This is without question the biggest game in MSG the Knicks have played in since the year 1999.
That place is going to be rocking. I just want to know, like, when have I ever hated on the Knicks? Name one time. But I said something about the Knicks that was like ridiculous and like I do with the Yankees
I don't know if you said something that you were hating on the Knicks. I don't think that you like the Knicks though. I'm not buying.
I'm a Nets fan first of like the Nets.
But you're rooting for the
team.
Knicks over the Celtics?
Of course, I'm rooting for the Knicks over the Celtics. I rooted for the Knicks to beat Detroit. I rooted for the Knicks to beat Philly last year. Like I rooted for them to beat Indiana last year. I don't know where this comes from that I hate the Knicks. It's I kind of like the Knicks. My dad's a huge Knicks fan. Like I said, I want to see him get one more before the old man goes, right? This is probably this year, next year is probably their last best chance. So I like to see him get one more. I mean, the Nets aren't going to win this year or next year. So, I don't have any ill will. It's not like the Yankees, who I absolutely despise. Like, I don't have any ill will towards the Knicks at all. I hate the Celtics. I hate anything from Boston. When the Giants played the Patriots in the Super Bowl twice, who'd you root for?
I rooted for the Giants both times.
Because I don't even care about the Giants. To me, are like the Falcons or the Vikings. I don't care about them at all. Like they don't.
I mean, I don't like the Giants either, but I didn't want to see the Patriots
win
and Boston win another championship.
Exactly. This is no different than that. Like it's no. I don't want to see Boston win. I don't have any ill will at all towards.
So, how would you feel if the Knicks win tonight, but they win because Mikal Bridges is the best player on the floor?
Good for Mikal. Like I'm not a bitter guy. I don't like the way that Mikal left, but Mikal was mostly a pretty good net. Same thing as Dorian Finney-Smith. I don't wish Dorian Finney-Smith ill will or Schroeder ill will. Like it's just like have a great career. It has nothing to do with me. Thank you for your service.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the fact that Mikal Bridges is on the record saying that he believes the moon landing is real?
Draymond Green and Steph Curry are on my side, just to put that out there. But that's fine. I'm not surprised that Mikal Bridges thinks that. I'm not surprised at all.
Now, did you hear Dave Brigger's call in yesterday? Or actually, it was this morning.
This morning, I don't think so. I watched. I got the second half of the show this morning. If it was in the first half, I probably didn't see it.
Yeah, it was maybe the midway point.
I probably just missed it. I don't think I saw Brigger's call. Did he mention me?
I believe your name came up.
So people sitting around here talking about me. I don't mention them. They want to sit around here and talk about me. All right, y'all can be the fan. I'll just be the superstar.
So in this call, you have now called yourself a superstar and compared yourself to Juan Soto, who signed the highest contract in the history of professional sports.
You know who said that? Y'all can be the fan. I'll just be the superstar. You know who said that?
I do not.
Roy Jones Jr. So I took it from him. You want to sit here and talk about me? I don't sit here and talk about Dave Brigger. I don't sit here and talk about these people. They want to talk about me.
Dave Brigger says you're popular in your own mind, Gary.
No, I'm popular in your mind because you sit here and talk about me. So you said I was popular, not me. I didn't sit here and talk about you. I didn't mention your name. You mentioned my name. Facts have a funny way.
I think you and Dave Brigger need to just get it on in the ring already.
So he got pissed at me because I wanted to give money to Chucky. Because is that the root of this anger?
He did not like the fact that you were going to give Gorman money after he should have learned his lesson. He should get a job.
Can he? Like, do you know what his diagnosis is? He's getting disability for a reason. Like, why don't people just mind their own business? You don't want to give him money, don't give him money. But like, why don't you shut the hell up? You have no idea what his diagnosis is.
Well, I think the argument against that is he's had multiple jobs previously. That's what people bring up. I'm not taking a side here. I'm just moderating the conversation on both sides.
When you turn 18 and you work, you start paying into Social Security disability. If they decide that you're unable to work, they then pay that insurance. They pay that insurance. It's not just Charles saying he can't work. It's the federal government who decided he can't work. Okay? So to take it up with them, okay? Like, you pay into an insurance program and then you collect your insurance and people are mad at you over it. Like, guys, just shut the hell up. You don't know what, like, I went to college with a girl who was allergic to a cold and she had a handicapped parking spot, right? And people would because she looks normal and healthy, and people would like snare at her, like, why are you parking the handicapped spot? Because she could die if she goes in the cold. Now I have epilepsy. I have a handicapped license plate. People give me look like, why are you parking the handicapped spot? Because I don't want to have a seizure in the middle of the parking lot. That's why, right? Like, people just need to shut the hell up. You don't know what people have going on in their life. Like this idiot Barbarossa mocks my my kid for being nonverbal. He can't talk. How old is he? Shut the hell up, bro. Like, who are you? Like, just shut up and mind your own business. If Charles doesn't want to get a job, Charles doesn't have to get a job. Like, what business is it of anybody else? I wanted to give Charles $20 because he seemed like he could use $20 more than I need the $20.
Dave says, I've explained to people with disabilities are able to work. We had 2 people in Israel church that work.
Cool. That's cool for them. Like, what does that have to do with Chuck?
Frank says, you missed the point, Gary. You shouldn't be asking for money from anyone.
He didn't ask for money. He didn't ask me for money. I volunteered to give him money, Frank.
Well, he asked
me
me for money, and I shared that on the show.
Okay, well, he didn't ask me for money, and I volunteered to give him money.
Yeah, but he's not learning his lesson if, I denied him, so we'll just go to someone else.
I'm not his daddy, okay? Like, so...
I would hope not. You're not Dennis.
No, I'm not. Although I've seen Roseanne, that Dennis is one lucky man. I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Whose side are you on here?
I'm not on any...
Calm your freaky down.
I didn't say anything freaky. It was a joke. But Dave Brigger proclaims from his mouth to be a Christian, but then he's against people being charitable. I don't know. Square that one.
Well,
I want to take care of a guy who's down on his luck and disabled, according to the state of New Jersey. But
that doesn't mean he can't ever get a job, though.
Look, you know him personally. I know Nick knows him. I don't know him personally. All right, I'm going to take him at his word. I don't know him to be a liar. I don't know him to be dishonest. I don't know him to be a crook. I don't know him to be any of those things other than an honest guy and a decent guy. He's down on his luck. If I can give him $20 to go buy lunch and that makes his day a little happier, like, why wouldn't I do that?
Well,
the
$20 argument
isn't going to matter to me.
You're enabling him to continue to beg for money.
He didn't beg me for. If he would have asked me for money, if he would have said, "Gary, can I have $20 to go buy food?" I would say, you spent your $20 on YouTube membership.
He hadn't asked me for money originally till I made the gesture, and then he kept coming back to the well. So people were saying, you can't keep doing it. He's got to learn his lesson, and then he ends up getting catfish for $800. That's
fair. You not giving him any more money is fair. I didn't give him any money for the catfish.
Right. But if you then turn around, if I'm making, in your opinion, if it's the right decision for me to not give him money, you then turning around and giving him the money anyway, that defeats the whole purpose.
It's on me. It's not on you, Jake. It's on me. It's not on you.
Yeah, but we want to help Charles.
Could you send him the money? You said no. Okay, that's your choice. Then I'm not going to send the money in.
Wait, but we want to help Charles. This is not helping him. It's enabling him. That's the argument.
I understand the argument. I get the argument, right? Like, I think we've, maybe not all of us, but a lot of us have probably been in a spot where $20 or $40 or $50 or whatever would go a long way. And maybe you don't need it. You can live without it, but it would make my life that much better. And if I have $20, I'm not, look, I'm not a multi-millionaire. I'm not, living the high life here, but like $20, $50 to me, I'm not even gonna know what's going on.
Right. I think for most of the people, if we had to spare $20 to someone, we could, but that's not the point. He wasn't he wasn't starving. He was at the mall and needed $20 for Smash
Burger. It's the same thing. Like when I was in college and my dad would throw me $50 to go take a chick to the movies or go get beer and pizza. It's like, I don't need the money. Like
Dave Briggs says he was looking for a handout.
Not to me, he wasn't. He didn't ask me for a dime. It was
because he didn't know that you were available as an option. He went to me because he knows I had paid him before.
All right. And if he went back,
he might go to you. I'm sure. Get ready for your Venmo request.
Well, then that's going to put a different coat of paint on it, to be honest. If he came to me and said,
that's what I'm saying, but that's it's the same thing. It's the same thing. No, but now he knows that you're an option. So eventually he's going to come to you too. We're hoping that doesn't happen because we didn't give him the money and he learns his lesson.
I didn't give him money for the catfish because to me, he was trying to buy a prostitute, and I'm not contributing to that. That's he was.
I don't think
he
wasn't trying to buy a prostitute. I think he thought he was genuinely talking to a woman.
Why would he give if it was me or you, and we asked him for $800, would he give it to us?
If we asked him for $800,
what can she offer him that we can't?
He thought he was talking to a girl that actually liked him.
And what did he want from the girl?
Companionship. That doesn't just have to be sex.
Jake, come on.
He says he wants a girlfriend. He thought he was on his way to having a girlfriend.
All right. Like, all right. All right. I think he was trying. I'm fully convinced, and I didn't sit down with him and give him 20 questions, but I'm fully convinced that he was looking to pay to parlay that into one thing. I know guys. I've been a guy for almost 42 years. I know how guys think.
That might be part of it, but I also think he thought he was talking to like a real woman. Like,
no, I do too, and it's a real woman that he could really, if he paid this up.
Gary, you're the one defending Charles because, but like, you know him well enough to think that you really think his intent was, oh yeah, I'm talking to some prostitute. No, he was talking to a fake woman online that he thought was like his girlfriend or whatever, was showing interest in him. So he wanted, Charles being the kind-hearted soul that he is, that we all love, he wanted to help this woman that he thought was in distress.
The whole falling for the catfish thing still, like, I get it. I get it happens. Like, I always thought it was fake until it happened to the Heisman runner-up, who was a good-looking guy who's on par to make millions of dollars. When it happened to him, I was like, I guess this is real, right? Like, I guess people really get catfish. I can't. It blows my mind.
It's a real thing.
It does.
So type it in on Google. You'll see there's thousands of stories like this. Luppy says, Gary, have you ever said, yes, you're right, and I'm wrong in your life?
Many, many times. Many, many times. Have you, Luppy? It's a strange question. What am I wrong about? I wanted to give Charles money. If Charles would have gotten dependent on me for money, I would live with that. And
it is a nice gesture, Gary, but when you understand the context of why he was asking for money, it would be creating a further problem, not actually helping him in the grand scheme of things. That's the point. He didn't actually need the $20. He actually needed the money when he got catfish. So this community rallied around that and helped him like we always do for one of our own. But this is a different set of circumstances.
I'm not calling Chuck special needs, okay? I'm not. He's obviously he's going through some stuff. We'll leave it at that. Right? I have special needs kids. I'm disabled myself. I have compassion for people. You get one life. That's it. God gives you one life. And
unless you're a cat.
You get 9, right? Yeah. You get one life. And when you have, I have 2 nonverbal kids. In their one life, they have to live it without being able to speak. I've got compassion. Having one disabled kid is the most humbling thing that you will ever go through as a human being. Having 2 is another level. I look at Charles. I'm not saying he's special needs. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's disabled. Like he can't work. I've got compassion for him. That's all I'm saying. Yes. Thank you, Jets Johnny.
I'm just reading some of these comments here, man.
Charles is innocent. Thank you, Mama Gorman.
Dana writes, and this is why I watch a 2-hour Jet show in May. I'll tell you what, you won't get this on many other shows. Amen.
Because there's no other community on another. I mean, like, we're talking about giving Charles money to go buy lunch, right? Like, what does that have to do with the Jets? Obviously, nothing. But
this show is about the Jets and the lives of Jet fans. That's how I would describe it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, it's a reality show of Jets fans.
Bino says, if Chuck can score a chick for $20, Marone, I don't even want to picture it. $20 Marone. What does that mean?
Madone is the Italian word. It's Madonna me, which translates to Mamma Mia, but it's kind of used the same way as oh my God, right? So you're saying if Chuck can score a chick for $20, oh my God, I don't even want to picture.
No, the $20 wasn't for a woman. It was for her to have smash burger at the mall. He doesn't need to spend $20 on a burger when he could just go home and eat.
Yeah, I think he's combining two things. I thought the $800 was for a prostitute. That's I viewed that. The $20 was for a hamburger.
You viewing it as a prostitute is just fundamentally wrong. That's not what it was being used for. He thought he was getting.
When you give someone money and hope that they give you sex, what do you call that?
He wasn't just hoping for that. He thought he was talking. He was talking to this person for like a week or so, and like this person was building a rapport with him to scheme him, to scam him. That's what was happening.
And when he met her, what did he want to do?
I think he thought he was talking to an attractive girl that was showing interest in him. Charles is very naive, but he's kind-hearted. I don't think he was just like, yeah, I'm going to get laid. I think he was just like, wow, this girl's talking to me, and he got fooled. He's not the first person to get catfished in the same exact type of scenario.
Okay.
Dave Brigger says, I'd call him, but I have to relax today. This guy lives on the moon. Well, we know he doesn't live there, Dave, because he doesn't believe we ever went to the moon.
Right. That's kind of a self-defeating statement, Dave Brega. You know I don't actually live on the moon because I don't think anyone's ever been to the moon.
Kyle
Clifton
says,
include myself.
If you've ever had fraudster sex, then you know how hot it is.
And I don't want to tell that story. Never mind.
Ricky says $20 was for a smash burger, $800 was the smash something else.
That's how I viewed it. Yeah.
Some of these we can't read on the air. Jets Johnny. So Gary only wants his wife for sex.
People just chime in and say dumb things.
I see the point here. Charles thought he was maybe talking to his future wife. We don't know. And he thought this person that he was connecting with over the internet was in trouble and wanted to help. He got duped.
If me or you were in trouble, would he give us $800?
I don't think he has $800. I think he would if he could. I think Charles is a kind-hearted human.
If it meant him not being able to pay his own bills, do you think he'd give you $800 if he had it? $800 is pay his rent or give it to Jake, who's in trouble. Would he give it to Jake or would he pay his rent?
I think he'd pay his rent, but I wouldn't expect him to give me the $800.
No, I agree.
It's not your example is not the same thing.
No, but he gave it to her because he thought he was going to get something in return. What can you offer? What can she offer him that you can't?
He gave it to her because he wanted to truly help her, and he probably knew he had the money from his account and paid it. He thought he was going to get paid back. He didn't think he was going to get scammed. That's what you're missing here.
All right, I'm okay. I think every guy in that position.
The fact that the audience has not dropped that much during this call is amazing. Shout out to everyone out there.
What did they say?
I check the numbers when these calls go, and if they really drop, I'm like, all right, got to move on. But yeah, people seem to be enjoying the Gary show right now.
I think this is an interesting conversation. I think what he was doing equates to, it's not a 1-for-1. It's not illegal. You're not going to get arrested for it in most states, but it's basically the same. It's basically the same principle.
Kevin says, can you make Gary a co-host on the show?
No, Charles Gorman. The Charles Gorman half hour. Charles Gorman comes.
Alan, who met Charles and had a meal with him, says he's a genuine soul. That's what you're not understanding here, Gary. He's innocent. He thought he was helping someone that liked him.
That doesn't mean he wasn't trying to solicit a prostitute.
She's not a prostitute. He thought he was talking to a girl that he met on the internet.
He thought she was a prostitute.
No,
it turns out that she's.
He did not think she was a prostitute. He thought that this was a girl that they just met on like the internet, which happens all the time, right? That's what online dating is. You meet people over the internet first. And then he thought he was helping this person and was naive and got fooled. He didn't think he was talking to a prostitute.
So let's say hypothetically, would you even spend $800 on a first date? Like, I'm not spending $800 on a chick I don't know or I just talked to online. Like, even on a date, even if she agreed to go on a date with me and she was real, I'm not spending $800 on a date. Like, that's
not what happened here.
But what I'm saying is that's an extravagant amount of money, especially for someone in his position, to spend on it's his money. He can do whatever the hell he wants with it. I'm not mining his pocket. I'm just making an observation. That's an extravagant amount of money. Yeah.
Is that Yankee Stadium or is that a Gary call? Purple Belt Mike is on the line. Hello, Mike.
Yeah, I just want to clear something up. So, Gary, this wasn't like a 10-second conversation and then he gave money. So this person reached out to him on Discord and was basically, oh, hi, how are you doing? What are your interests? Blah, 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 blah. And just kept talking and talking and talking and building rapport. And then said, hey, I don't remember if it was like, I'm in trouble or this happened or whatever. I need some money. And then how much do you have that you can give me? And that's how it happened. So she groomed it out of him and then asked more probing questions. And that's how she got his address and social security number and all this stuff. Because she or the Nigerian hacker is very well trained.
He gave him his social too? Oh,
what's
God.
that?
He gave him his social too?
He gave everything, dude.
Oh, God.
Bank account, passwords, like everything that you can give, he gave up because he wanted to help this person that he thought was his friend. Because that's what they do. They go after people randomly.
No,
whoever bites.
I get it. Like the only
So it wasn't a prostitute sex thing. It was nothing like that at all.
so like my thing is like okay, I understand it's not a 1-for-1, right? But it almost is in the sense that was his end goal. His end goal was that this lady was going to sleep with him, and that's what
You think it was
No.
when you met your wife? What was your end goal?
my end goal for my wife. I want to marry her.
Okay, you ended up marrying her, but along
Right.
the way,
So I hit the target.
how do you know Gorman didn't look at this person as a possible girlfriend? And think it may be his wife?
Gorman definitely looked at this as, wow, this might be my girlfriend. 100%.
Just take an L for once,
Like
Gary.
that's what happened, dude. He got duped, man. Like thousands and thousands of people do. He wasn't doing it in the sense of, I'm gonna go after this so I could have sex with this person. It was, I'm gonna go after this because I think this is gonna be my girlfriend. That's what it was.
You'll never get my chicken soup recipe. I'm not saying that Glowski takes steroids. Give me some of it. Hey, child. Who is that lovely lady? Sing it this way, child.
I'm not trying to put anyone on blast here.
There he is.
The man of the hour is here.
PBM
Got a haircut, as y'all can tell.
looks good, Chuck. Looks good. Have you ever, in your whole life, pursued a girl, spent money on said girl who you want no relationship with, and you really just want to have sex with? Be honest. Just be honest.
I wasn't looking for the sex, Gary. I wasn't looking for the sex.
Gary, let him talk. Gary, let him talk.
Let Gorman talk. He can talk.
I wasn't looking for the sex. I was looking for companionship.
Thank you.
This girl we first met on Instagram. We talked for a while. Then we talked on Discord. And some crazy shit happened where I, like a jackass, like a moron, a nincompoop, the whole 9 yards. I gave her a lot of personal information. I wasn't looking to do the snoo, the no pants dance. Okay? As much as I would love to do that with a lovely female companion,
Chicks aren't that interesting. Chicks aren't that fun to hang out with. I'll be honest. Like, your chick wants to hang out with you and your friends. Did you ever go to your chick and be like, hey, let me hang out with you and your friends? No, because you're boring. My friends are fun. That's why you want to hang out with my friends. I don't really want to go out with you and your girlfriend.
Gary,
I'm just saying.
Gary, I've hung out with chicks that are kick-ass.
I agree. There are some. I agree. But in general,
you have no idea. Ever heard of tomboys, Gary?
Yeah, no. There are some chicks who are cool chicks. There are
tomboys. I've hung out with a lot of tomboys growing up. I've hung out with girly girls. I've hung out with tomboys. I've hung out with the hot, sexy ladies. Some were bitches, like snobby bitches. Excuse my language, ladies out there.
Was that your chick will come to you like, oh, I want to hang out with you and your friend? I've never in my life said to my wife, hey, can I hang out with you and your girlfriends? Ever, not once.
What the fuck is happening?
Gary, that's your business.
I don't think any guy says that. Hey, can I hang out with you and your girls? I don't think any guy has ever said that.
I haven't, but I took advantage of it. You know, some guys are not afraid to embrace their feminine side. Sometimes, I like to embrace my soft side.
Okay, but chicks still aren't that interesting. They're still not that fun.
Like, then why are you married,
the
Gary?
most fun activity you can have.
Gary, why are you married?
Activity in the world to this
Jesus
day.
Christ, Gary, let me talk. Why are you married if you don't think girls are that interesting?
Because I love my wife and I want to have a family and I want to lead the family, and my wife had all the.
So you think so? From that standpoint, do you find her interesting?
Yeah.
Okay, then you're a hypocrite. You say women are not that interesting, yet you love your wife.
In general, I said there are exceptions.
So he thought he was talking to someone that was interesting. So
right. No, it was just a word of advice. Women usually aren't that much fun to hang out with. Just putting that out there.
Depends on the chick. Like, there are some dudes I think are shitty to hang out with. Like, but Mike's a cool ass son of a bitch.
Right.
But Mike's a dude.
I said. Am I talking to a wall, Gary? Am I talking to a wall here?
You're speaking in non sequiturs, though. That's my point. It's like the point was like
dudes are generally a lot more fun to hang out with than chicks. One of them is Purple Belt Mike. One of them is Nick Shine.
Good dude.
There are some dudes that I went with that I wanted to smash their face against the wall. That I wish they were in fucking jail or in Alcatraz Island.
All right.
But that's why I said the most fun activity in the world is to hang out with your boys. People who aren't your boys aren't fun to hang out with.
Depends on the person, Gary. Here's my thing.
Your boys, the people you choose to keep in your circle, your best friend, your group of guys. Those are the most fun. The most fun activity in the world is hanging out with those people. No matter who your group is the most. That's the best thing you can do. There's nothing more fun than that.
It depends. Well, me, Gary, it depends on the person. If I want to hang out with a chick to be a friend, I'll hang out with her. That's how I am. I was raised to judge people by their personality and their character.
Well said. Well said.
Awesome. What does that have to do with anything, Chuck?
That he doesn't just judge people based on male or female. He judges.
You don't judge people based on male or
books.
female. So you would date a guy.
That's
If
not
I was bisexual, yes.
Okay, there you
No,
go.
I didn't say if. I said, would you date a guy?
Considering that I'm heterosexual, no.
No, so you do judge guys between. You do judge them. You do
Oh my
differentiate
God.
between male and female.
Your ability
Okay.
to just try and move the goalposts and just shift things.
No, you're saying there's no difference between men and women. Clearly, there's quite a
That's
difference.
not
Clearly,
that's
there's
not-
a major difference.
There's a biological difference between men and women, but Charles's point is he'll hang out with a woman, he'll hang out with a man. He judges people based on based on who they are as people. If they're good people.
Sure, and I'm just pointing out that in general, as a rule of thumb, hanging out with chicks not that much fun.
That's
They
your
want to hang
opinion,
out with
Gary.
you and your friends, and you really want to hang out with them and theirs.
That's your opinion, Gary. That's your opinion.
It is,
And I have to disagree
it would
with
be
your
weird for me to
opinion.
come on the show and give someone else's opinion. Obviously, it's my opinion. Clearly, I mean, it would be weird for me to give Mike's opinion. It'd be strange.
All right, so let's get down to the bottom of this. Charles, if you need money, Gary would be happy to pay you whatever you want, right, Gary?
I was gonna.
I
as soon
just
as
paid
it's
for
out,
my
I said,
dinner,
I was gonna
Gary.
send
I
him
just
20
paid
bucks
for
to
my
buy a
dinner,
smash
Gary.
burger.
For cash with my own pocket.
Chuck, it's nothing to be ashamed of, man. It's cool. Like, I'm not judging you. I'm not belittling you. I'm not trying to make you feel like nothing.
Hold on
I
one second,
wanted
I'm
to
on the
send you
phone.
20 bucks because you were short on cash. That's it. There's nothing else to it, Chuck.
Where are you eating right now, Charles? Huh?
Charles, I have a recommendation.
I don't know if he's still there.
Uh,
Where was he? I couldn't tell what fast food place that was.
I wanted to tell Charles that if there's a Home Depot by him, he should apply because they have really good benefits. But I wasn't sure if there's one by him.
I didn't. Oh, Been happily married 13 years as of last Sunday. So
this Knicks game can't start soon enough. I agree.
Mets and Yankees in 45 minutes, so that's
right.
good.
Dave says stop calling women chicks.
Nah. All women are chicks. Chicks is universal. It's like calling guys bros. It's just a universal thing. Girls are chicks.
Imagine
Since
the workers.
Gorman's out.
Some chicks are cool.
Farewell.
Some chicks are ladies, and some chicks are 304s, and that's the differentiator. Just calling them chicks is neither insulting nor complimentary.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the line right now to go at it with Gary 3D Boxing is.
Don't be Brigga. Oh, what up, Indy?
No, it's worse than Brigga, Gary.
Brigga, right?
It's hilarious that you were offended by somebody saying SMD,
I'm
but
not
you have
offended
no
by it. Y'all
problem
just
calling
I'm not offended.
you were offended. You admitted that's why your reason for leaving Discord was somebody said SMD.
That means that you all party too hard for me. I'm not offended by it.
You were so offended you had to leave Discord, but you can offend. You can call every woman. Hold on. Wait, we listen to you. So you can call every woman a chick and a broad, have no respect for them. You are the king of the castle and your wife has no choice. We've had this conversation. You can be disrespectful to women.
I don't disrespect
your greatest thing, the greatest pleasure in your.
I told him to ask politely, open doors. Right? I told him to do all these. I'm not disrespectful to women. Do I think there's a difference between
really?
Men and women?
I bet you, Jake. If Jake took a poll of whether you're disrespectful to women or not, yes or no, would you want to bet on
care
which?
Not what the world thinks, Indy. I care what God thinks. I don't care if the poll was 100% to 0. If God thinks I'm right and the poll thinks I'm wrong, that's good enough for me. I'm not interested in what people of the world think. Friendship with the world is enmity with God.
Then maybe you should, if you want to go that way.
God's given us.
But you're the best, and then you turn around and say the best time you have is with your boys, hanging with your friends.
That's the most fun activity in the world is hanging out with your boys, for sure. You can have $0 and be on the beach in Thailand, and if you eat your boys, you'll still have fun.
Having the greatest partner in your life, your wife, doesn't compare. Your kids around doing things with your dad. Yeah, that doesn't compare. For you, hold on. For you, you said the best time is for you to hang with your boys. Then you want to turn around and tell Charles.
Let's get my words. I said the most fun activity in the world to this day. Rich or poor, doesn't matter. Is hanging out with your boys.
For you to hang out with other men. For you to hang out with other men. Then you turn around and call Charles. You talk about Charles.
I didn't talk about Charles.
And Charles was sitting there.
What did I say?
Yeah, you just sit there and ask him whether he likes men. Would he date men? Because he is
said
okay.
There was no difference between men and women. I disagree with that statement.
You asked him. You asked him. Come on now, Gary.
I said, would
rewind
you date a man?
You asked him, would you date a man? You asked him that.
Would you date a man? The answer is obviously no.
Exactly.
It's a legitimate question.
Why?
The answer is no. Why not? Because there's
why
a difference between
first of all, why is it a legitimate question? Hold on, Gary. Why is it a legitimate question?
An answer. Because he said there's no.
Why is it a legitimate question when he gave you the answer? Jesus, you're more feminine than most women. You don't shut up long enough.
Why would I?
Are you done talking?
No, you made a comment about me.
You don't listen to God.
So I addressed it. I asked a legitimate question.
I said nothing incorrect.
Gave a legitimate answer. I don't understand the confusion. He said there's no difference between men and women.
You took.
Okay, hang on.
Hold on, Gary.
For a minute.
You took. Okay, I'll give you a minute, but then it's time for you to shut up. Okay, so go.
Okay, Charles asked me a legitimate question. I gave him a legitimate answer. He said there was no difference between men and women. I didn't agree with that statement. I don't think he agreed with that statement. So I asked him, would you date a man? He said no. Why not? Because there's clearly a difference between men and women. Go ahead. Is he gone? Am I gone?
Gary, listen, buddy. I know men and women can both be fun to hang out with. That's what I'm trying to say. Depending upon their personality.
I was just busting balls when I said, although hanging out with your boys is the most fun activity in the world. I stand on
then
that.
Why didn't you say that, Gary?
I stand on, obviously I'm busting balls. I've been happily married for
You could have said
years.
you were busting balls and you pissed off Leanie because of that.
Leanie knows I'm busting chops. Look, you guys, okay, I hate women. I decided to marry one and protect one and give my life to serving one for the rest of my life. Have you done that?
I would give my life to my mother.
Have you decided to give? Okay. If the answer is yes, it's yes. But what I'm saying is clearly I don't hate women. That's a ridiculous comment. If I hated women, I wouldn't have committed myself to one, to protting and providing for one,
Roseanne,
putting my life on the line if necessary to protect one. Now two, because I have a daughter, for the rest of my life, if I didn't love women. It's just a ridiculous comment.
I never said, look, I'm not one of those morons that say that shit, okay, Gary?
The peanut gallery said that.
Look, forget the peanut gallery. I deal with the peanut gallery too on my channel, so don't worry about it. Listen, I love people. Yes, I will admit there are times I can be a bit too trusting and a bit too naive. But there are also times where I can be a bit too distrusting. So I'm not saying I'm bipolar or weird, but I've learned to I'm trying to balance my emotions. I'm trying to balance my trust and not to trust. Now, back to what you were saying, I'm not the type of guy that tries to look for sex. My parents never raised me that way. I was born in a devout Catholic household. They were like, no sex before marriage.
Why are you watching porn? And why are you going to strip clubs?
So I like women.
Jesus said, if you've committed, if you've
there's a
lusted
lot of
after
things
a woman,
about the church that I don't agree
Jesus
with.
said, if you lusted after a woman, you've committed adultery in your heart. He said, if your eye causes you to sin, pluck it out. These are the measures he tells you to take to avoid sin in your life.
Why do I watch porn? Why do I go to strip? Why do I go to a strip club?
I'll let you respond. Going to a strip club, watching porn is just as destructive as having an affair or having premarital sex. It's just as destructive. Go ahead, Charles.
Hey, Indy Jets, how are you?
All right, Charles. How you doing, bud?
Good. I was going to say, look, I believe I'm a Catholic, but there are certain things about it that I don't agree with.
Well, then by
And I was-
definition, you're not a Catholic. You're protesting in some way. But go ahead.
I was born and raised a Catholic, and there are certain things I don't agree with. Like even though I know the previous Pope is deceased, I don't agree with a lot of the shit he believed in. So I don't have to kiss his
By
ass.
definition, you're not really a Catholic, right? If you're protesting against the Pope, then you're something else. The word Catholic means universal, right? This is what we believe in. If you don't believe that, then you're not Catholic by definition. But go ahead. I don't want to nitpick you, but go ahead.
Look, I was born and raised Catholic, and there are certain things I don't agree with, but I mostly believe there are most things I do agree with and believe in. Like I understand porn and going to strip clubs can be very addictive and destructive. But I learned to balance it out by thinking of all the women that I befriended, by thinking about my mother, that all the good she's done for me. My mother means the world, even though she fucking drives me crazy. I love her. She's one of my biggest supporters of all time. And she will tell you that till the day she dies.
Okay.
And there's a lot of women that I've had feelings for. Unfortunately, they were unreciprocated.
It happens to all. We've all pursued a woman. I'm sure Indy can confirm this too. We pursued a woman. We put more interest into a woman than she had in us. It's happened to all of us.
Everyone, every man. I will agree with that.
Everyone. It's
Charles, while you're right here, I'm gonna prove Gary wrong here. Earlier, Gary said if you had $800 and Jake called you and said, Charles, I need $800, and he doesn't believe that you are the kind of person that would give that $800 to your friend.
It's between paying rent and giving it to Jake. If you give Jake the $800, you can't pay your rent that month. Would you give him the $800?
I wouldn't give him the $800 because I need to pay rent.
So that's my point. That was my point. I'm sure if you had millions of dollars, if you had hundreds of thousands of dollars, if Jake said, "Can I have $800?" you'd give it to him.
Oh, here we go.
Thinks that Gary needs more shots upside his head. This cowboy hates when you don't believe in achievement. Well, they call him one punch Sprigger. The moon landing was free. They call him one punch Sprigger. His claim is not too dirty. Call him one punch Sprigger. Hated jokes is like his ass. One punch Sprigger. Knows he know they need one.
Number one, I have nothing to say to Gary, okay? I want to speak to Charles. Exit that guy from me, okay? Charles.
You don't tell people what to do, Dave. It's not your show.
Someday I will, maybe. You'll find out.
All right, well, then maybe.
You disrespect everybody, not just women. Number one, you disrespect yourself. So I don't even want to talk to you, okay?
Yeah.
This message
You claim to be a Christian, but then I'm acting charitable. I'm showing the heart of Christ, and you're like, don't do that.
Hey, listen, I told you I didn't want to talk to you more. Go hide in the moon.
Really care what you want. Like what you want doesn't really go on my radar, Dave.
You're just a bombacious fool.
With what
You're
want.
A fool. You're a fool.
That's
all. You're a fool. You know what a
Plus,
fool is?
name
I don't want to talk to you. I want to speak to Charles. Exit, please.
Name calling.
Exit.
Awesome.
Exit. Stage left, idiot.
I would, but you asked me to, so now I'm not going to.
Listen, leave me alone. Charles, I got to ask you a question.
You jumped in on my conversation. You could exit if you want.
Oh, you control everything. I jumped in. It's not your stage.
You jumped in. You don't have to be here. We're all here voluntarily.
Charles, I want to speak to Charles. Not you. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
Maybe not. Maybe I choose not to. Maybe I choose not to.
You're a doofus.
All right, that's fine.
Charles.
Yes, sir.
Be quiet, okay? Charles, how are you this evening?
I'm doing good, Mr.
Charles,
Burger.
I have to ask you a question. Look at him. Good. You're a good guy. Listen, I know you're interested in working, right? You have the capability of working. That's all I wanted to know. I'm not trying to, this guy's saying you're disabled. Well, maybe you have disabilities.
Well,
I don't know.
I am on disability. I am on SSI, but I am looking to get a job, sir. Right. I know you want me to get a job, and I definitely.
You're interested. You're interested in working, right?
Yes, sir. I've been
You're
interested
interested
in
in
working
working,
since I
correct?
turned 18. I've been interested in working since I turned
Well,
18.
Are you able to apply for work or not?
Yes, I am, sir.
Are
I'm
you
able
able
to
to apply?
for it. Huh?
Right. I mean, have you worked? I know you said you attended college. Did you graduate college or not?
Yes, I did, sir. I graduated in May of 2016. I majored in criminal justice, minored in political science. I used to work at Boscov's in Woodbridge, and I worked at DSW Shoes Incorporated in Island. And those
What
both
happened?
those jobs didn't
What
last
happened?
very long. Hmm?
Didn't last. Were you able to do the work or not?
I was
Were
able
you
to do
able
the
to,
work.
like,
Yeah.
physically?
Yes, sir. I was
So
able to
you
do
don't
it
have any
physically.
problems. You don't have any problems physically working or any type of disabilities?
I have a focusing disability, yes, but I can do the work physically, yes.
Okay. Dude, listen, Charles, I just, you need to have some kind of objective in life. And I know you're moving into a new homestead and whatever, And so the best thing for you to do is try to be active, to actively seek things, to try to get
I
out
don't
there and
know.
apply for things, I mean,
I have a job code for that, sir.
listen, I'm going to tell you something. We have two people in our church with disabilities, and both of them work part-time jobs. One's 50 years old. He had 3 part-time jobs. And the other one, he retired at 65. He used to take the bus to work every day. Now, they didn't work, the one worked 8 hours. But, you have capabilities. I can see that. And I know you've said you desire to work. Oh, no.
Yes, sir, I do.
Please. No, don't put me on with this dude. Please. Please. I can't take it.
Now look what you've done, Gary. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give him another 24 hours to think about it.
I do want to work there, Mr. Brigger.
Charles.
Pardon me if I call you Mr. Brigger.
Yeah, I know. You seem like but Charles, you know what? You just got to get out of the habit of looking to people provide you things that you don't just to think on a whim they're just going to happen. Everybody's willing to give, to be charitable. Yeah, everybody's willing to be charitable. That's not the point, I mean, this Gary tries to make it seem like I'm an uncharitable person. That's not the issue. The issue is, you have to show a little bit more zip. I know it's hard. Charles, I don't know your personal life or whatever, but I know Nick is taking you under his wing, and all the people in the chat, they love you, and the same here. But we want to see you prosper, and prospering, it means you try to attain things individually, whatever capabilities you have, you give it your best, Charles. That's all. That's all.
Thank you. You're 100% correct. I need to get my fat ass up and work.
Right, you're a reasonable guy, and I see that. And people try to take advantage of you, and it's unfortunately that's the way the world is. And you just have to be alert against it. But everybody's got your back, Charles. I want to tell you that. We just want to see you prosper, myself included. Like if you were down and out, you needed something, believe me, I'd help you out. But Charles, just like Bobby and the others that need labor, you just have to be more, whatever your capabilities are, you got to do them to the best you can do them. That's all I say. That's all the only message I have. And as far as that other guy is concerned, I have no use for him. Poof. He's a fraud. He's worse than B-Mac. I'm doing well. My wife hasn't felt well today, but it's I take one day at a time. And that guy questioned my Christianity. He doesn't know me, so only the Lord knows my heart. You don't judge me, Gary. That's all I got to tell you. Okay? I want the best for Charles and the fellas in the chat. And you apparently have no respect for women. Call them chicks. Call them broads. Okay, that does a lot That does a lot, my friend. Charles, God bless you, my friend.
You too, my friend.
Okay, Charles. Good evening.
You too.
He thinks that Charles and Bobby need to get a job. This cowboy hates to see Asmaniacs complain. What he call him, one punch bigger. You need to get a job. What he call him, one punch bigger. The beast is on his ass. Call him one punch bigger. Has anyone seen Dean Mac? Call him one punch bigger. You only need one.
How you doing, Jake?
I'm good, Charles. How are you?
Going to the Knicks game tonight?
I am. Yeah, right after the show ends. I gotta run out of here.
Have fun, man. Stay safe. Don't drink too much. Even if they lose, do not drink too much.
What if they win?
Don't be smart ass.
That was a genuine question.
If they win, look, even if they win or lose, don't drink too much, you know?
How would you define too much? Is there a limit do you have in mind?
So what's the alcohol level is 0.08.
So I shouldn't go beyond the legal limit?
You should not go beyond it, no.
What if I like the feeling of being a little buzzed?
Then take an Uber home.
Well, I don't plan on driving at all. I don't even own a car.
I thought you drove for some oddball reason. My apologies.
No, I don't need a car. I live in Manhattan.
I always felt, to be honest with you, Jake, I've always felt Manhattan was better off walking than driving.
I agree. I'm a man of public transportation. I take the subway like a real New Yorker.
Yeah, subway's nice. Look, man, thank you for having me on here, and thank you for clearing the situation to Gary.
I had your back, Charles. I don't know if you saw it, but I had your back.
I know you did.
Now, where are you eating, by the way? Where are you?
I was eating a Popeye at KFC.
Oh, a little KFC action. Nice.
Yeah, I'm having a Pepsi, and I'm doing good. My family's doing good. I'm going to a graduation party tomorrow.
Nice.
My friend Preston just graduated from college, so we're going to a nice Puerto Rican place called Surrender Cafe in Woodbridge Township.
Oh, did you invite V-Man?
V-Man?
Yeah, he loves everything that has to do with Puerto Rico.
I don't know where the hell the guy lives.
Poughkeepsie, New York.
I don't even have his damn number.
I'll connect you to.
Maybe some other time, Jake. Look,
okay.
Now, there's not on this video that Jamal Adams wants to be back with the Jets. I know I have a habit of changing the subject. I know, Jake, but story of my life. I'd say no to Jamal Adams. He wore out his welcome. It was nice knowing you, Jamal, but fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Or is it the other way around?
What did you get from KFC? My brother wants to know.
A chicken pot pie combo.
Nice. Who you at KFC with? Steady Eddie?
No, just by myself. I took Uber here.
Wait a second. I thought you only had $40 to your name, though. How much did the Uber and the Popeyes cost? Now you got to Uber back. Are we out of money?
I have an account with Sweet Influence. They give me money via Sweet Influence, so I use it to take Uber back.
Oh, okay.
I got $40 in cash on me, and I used about $10 to buy for my Popeye combo.
Now, my brother makes a good point here. Why wouldn't you just Uber Eats it? Then you could save even more money.
My parents don't like delivery.
They don't trust you to be able to get the food from the driver?
It's not just that. It's just that they don't like people coming to their house that they don't know. It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird.
Now, what if I was an Uber Eats driver? Would you accept my delivery?
Yes, and I want to introduce you to them. Said, hey, Mom and Dad, this is Jake Gasman I've been telling you about.
Oh, okay. Well, you tell your parents I say hello, all right?
I will, Jake, and have fun on the game tonight.
I will. Let's go Knicks, all right?
Go New York, go New York, go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Gorman.
Hi, I'm Charles, and I'm going to talk about Spider-Man and movies and sports and video games and maybe hot chicks.
What a call. For a May 16th show, that was pretty damn good. And there actually was Jet news to talk about at the top. So if you want my rant on Zuerlein and Jamal Adams and the thank you post the Jets social media team posted, for Zuerlein. Check that out at the beginning. Hit the like button. If you gifted a membership, it was +5. Super chats were +5. Big fella put Gary in the hole. Normally that'd be 10 memberships for 50 or 10 raffle entries for $50. It's 15. Daniel Murphy, super chat. Would Gary watch women's boxing? I just want to acknowledge the super chats that came in during the rumbles there. Daniel Murphy, go Knicks. Not necessarily a fan, but all the New England area teams need to lose. Plus Brunson's that guy. Murph, where you been, man? You used to call. We gotta get you back as a regular caller. Jose Lopez says, this is wild. I have no words. Orange and blue skies. Bing bong. This certainly was an entertaining afternoon to kill some time before the Knicks. We got baseball coming up in 30 minutes in the Bronx. Aaron says this is better than the Jets offseason news. I agree. Dana says it's Charles at a KFC. Turns out he was. Shout out to Ryed's sister who just ran into Alan Lazard apparently at the mall and got a picture. He taught her well. Boomtown with a super chat here. This concludes the masterclass in moving the goalpost 101 with Professor Gary 3D Boxing. This free class brought to you by the Jake Asman Show. God, Gary just would not acknowledge any wrong there. Not that I thought he would, but wow. Aaron, Gary is gone. You're way off. Bino, imagine the people poor Chuck is going to have in the apartment unsupervised. It's actually a scary thought, honestly. Party with Peg and Artie. Gary, come back to the Discord. PBM and I are asking. Nobody wants your jock. Kevin said, can you make Gary a co-host? And then before the madness began, the great Kyle Clifton, he super chatted. Boston fans are super duper obnoxious. Go New York. Go. They won enough, man. They won enough. It's time to stick it to them. Let's go. Knicks.
Go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go!
All right. The potential last super chat from Leany here. Knicks need to close it out tonight. Let's go.
Bang! Bang!
Amen, Leany. Amen. Folks, if you like this community, join the Patreon. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Get in the Discord. I'm going to have updates soon on the Tampa Bay meetup. We have plans for a Saturday night party. We have plans for a Sunday tailgate before the game. And some info on group buy opportunities potentially coming as well. Jets Johnny writes in, Knicks and Panthers in 6. Drop the link for Nate. Go Jets. God bless America. Briga is Gary's daddy. Nate, are you still out there? Nate was going to call us from Yankee Stadium, but he dropped off the line. He might have already gone in. I'll post it real quick here, but it's got to be fast because we got to go. All right. The link's been posted. By the way, I ran a poll during the Gary Rumble there. Do you think Gary respects women? No, 62%. Yes, 38%. Incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, live from Yankee Stadium, we check in with Nate, parentheses Nate. Hello, Nate.
What up, Jake? Can you hear me?
We hear you.
I'm with the one and only Tom Ace.
Yeah,
Shout out to Tom Ace.
Right, that's right. We can't know his real identity.
He got us these tickets for $200. And I had the offer of going to game 6 as well.
Deal of a lifetime.
So, but we decided to go with the, we're like right behind home plate in the suite level. Shout out again to the legend Tom Ace, who
those are 6 seats.
May not know his face. He does exist. He's repping his Knicks gear. He's got
bring the iPad.
Got the Clyde on.
Yes.
So he's still repping number 10. He's still repping the. We'll be watching the Knicks on our phone, and as Juan Soto hits 3 homers, then I'll join you guys to celebrate down on 7th Avenue.
Wow, they're already booing Soto. Wow.
That's what I'm here for. I'm here to see the boos. I'm here to take it all in, Jake.
I'd boo him
Got
too.
my Clay Holmes jersey on. I'm rocking the Clay Holmes tonight, even though he's not pitching. But hopefully it's a good game. Hopefully all of New York has a good night, regardless of the Mets or Yankees win. That the Knicks get it done, and we just hope for a good dramatic game here in the Bronx.
Amen. Gentlemen, enjoy the game. Let's go Knicks. And to Tom Ace, let's go the Yankees.
Hell yeah.
Love it. All right. That was going to be the last call, but when JJ calls in, we'll hear him out. Hello, JJ.
How you doing, Mr. Jake Asman? On a nice, beautiful Friday. You know what's crazy? I don't know if Nate can hear me because I know he's at the Yankee game, but I seen Nate. I swear I seen him at a Mets game like 2 nights ago. It had to be him.
He called into the show. He was there. Yeah.
Oh, well then, yeah, I seen him. I tried to get his attention, but he was like busy or whatever. But I know that redheaded monster anywhere I see him. So, Nate, it was nice seeing you, even though you didn't see me. Real quick, man, Gary is a nice guy and he does respect women. He's a married man and he has a daughter, so we gotta relax. Gary definitely respects women, and his daughter is very intelligent. So, she's getting it from the mom's side probably, but he's doing something right, at least. And if he doesn't respect women, Gary does have good taste. He has good taste in babysitters and other things as well. Point that I wanted to make: Jamal Adams coming back to the Jets.
Oh, come on.
I'm okay with it. Let bygones. Well, let me just say this: let bygones be bygones.
He can't play anymore.
Jamal Adams injured. Yeah, but if he can't play, then he can't play. You know what I mean? Like, if we bring him on the team and he sucks, we can just cut him. It's not like we owe him anything. So why not see him out? Bring him over. We haven't had great safety play in a long time. Maybe he has a resurgence. Probably not. But, you know, why not? For shits and giggles. When he was fun to watch. He was fun to watch. He was one of the better defensive players in the league. So I don't blame him for the way that he wanted out because, I mean, look at what happened with Joe Douglas. So I kind of tend to agree with Jamal Adams. I would have wanted to run for my life if Joe Douglas was my GM too. So bring him back. If he's good, keep him. If he's not, we can cut him. I don't see the problem with that. Jake, man, Douglas, I know you're a Yankees fan, but
it was he wanted a contract.
What'd you say?
It wasn't Joe Douglas. He wanted to be paid, and the Jets weren't going to pay him. That's why he went to the media and blasted the organization, and they traded him.
Okay, but at the end of the day, I mean, I'm just saying, either way, if he sucks, we can just cut him. So there's not much, you know, it doesn't really matter. But I just want to say, my Mets are going to beat the Yankees tonight, and that's all I got for you guys.
JJ, thank you very much. All right. I can't with Jamal Adams. The last time he played more than 12 games in a season, JJ, was 2019. And now he's 30. He's not good. Like, if he was still a good football player and they brought him in, I'd let bygones be bygones if I thought he could help the Jets win. Aaron Glenn had him in Detroit last year when their team was decimated with injuries, right? They signed him. He played 2 games for them. And then they cut him before the playoffs started. If he showed anything, you think they would have cut him before the playoffs started with all their injuries? They would have kept him. So I don't think the Jets are going to sign him. But it is what it is. On that note, I'm off to the Garden. Let's go Knicks. Knicks in 6. Thank you to everyone who sent in a super chat or a gifted membership. What a show. If you tuned in late, you missed a lot. Someone please, immediately after the show ends, do me a favor and timestamp when the Gary madness really began. Gary versus Indy, Gary versus Briga, when Gorman called in, because that was crazy. What a show. All right. I've talked enough. Thank you all for watching. Knicks in 6. Knicks in 6. Talk to you guys soon. Go Jets. And, of course, shout out to the ASMANIACS for making it possible to be a full-time Jet curator in mid-May. That's the power of this fan base and this community. Love you all. Go Knicks.
Say go